Hey there, here's what's coming up in this episode. It was those Zoom happy hours. I know. I had more happy hours in quarantine than I had in my whole life because I was too busy as a mom and too tired as an older person. But when I could have happy hour at exactly 5:01 p.m.
You're not leaving the house. We don't know what this pandemic is going to bring.
Plus, liquor stores open as essential services. I mean, we were all set up for this. And
try to keep us liquored up.
We don't want a revolution because we said 2 weeks at home to flatten the curve. And then look at these people. They're stuck at home. As things started to open back up, I realized if I had a couple drinks, I would have fitful sleep and my first night sweats. I didn't notice before because we were all fitful because we were going to die. It was obvious the impact it had on my body. Welcome to the My Aloof Vagina podcast, where we explore the distress and surprise of our midlife transitions. We take menopause seriously, but we don't take ourselves seriously. And we believe that learning what to expect can be entertaining. It's inevitable, so we may as well equip ourselves and have a good time. I'm your host, Martha, and Deanna Boyd is back. She's a makeup artist and photographer of a certain age, actually almost exactly the same age I am, possibly around the same age you are. So she sees her work through the prism of an experienced woman going through perimenopause herself. So I'll bring her back to talk about things like makeup and skincare and self-image tips because she is full of wisdom and information. But in this episode, we are talking about our personal experiences with perimenopause. What is the outlook and perspective of a woman who has decided to manage all this naturally without HRT or even herbal HRT alternatives? How might someone end up on the HRT path in her early 50s? Which lifestyle change might you feel compelled to make during midlife? It rhymes with schmalcohol, or actually it rhymes with living up schmalcohol. And why might reading up on things, step away from Google first, actually help us ride this wave with more peace and help us bring our loved ones along? We get into all of this and more, so stick around. By the way, as always, anything we talk about during the show is referenced in the show notes for each episode. Links, more details, photos, those kinds of things. You can find them anytime right there in your podcast app or at myalooffvagina.com. Even though Deanna and I are the same age, we are experiencing different symptoms. We're also making different choices for treating or dealing with this perimenopausal period. The situations that introduced us to this stage of life, that alerted us that we were in it, were different. She learned about perimenopause and became aware she was in it by reading a book by Dr. Christiane Northrup. We referenced it briefly in the previous episode, and I've linked it again in the show notes. That menopause book was a comfort, and it equipped her to manage and navigate her symptoms in a specific way. And she feels really good about it. I'm not a doctor, but it's hard not to talk about HRT when we're talking about all of these things. And I don't want to confuse matters. I don't want to bring too much to people because confused people have a hard time taking action and they have a hard time making choices. And at this stage, we need to make choices. And I believe that people should be able to provide informed consent when they're making these decisions. So I want to talk to my friends who have made different choices so that I'm sharing those perspectives, not really bringing a lot of research to the table, although maybe I might do an episode at some point and share the research that led me to the choices I made. And I will link in the show notes that New York Times article that does a pretty good job of summarizing the HRT marketplace. I guess that's the only way I can describe it. The conversation in this episode comes on the heels of other chats that Deanna and I had as friends about what we're going through and asking each other, like, what's up with that? Because I know we talked about hormone testing. We talked about the doctor's perspectives and what they say, but I do want to revisit that because we'd had an interesting conversation.
The joy of perimenopause?
Yes.
Is that what we're talking about?
That's actually going to be the title of this episode.
The joy, the love and light around perimenopause. Well, it's interesting because I think it was during the pandemic. when you feel all the things. I think just that mindset of like, are we going to die? What's going on in the world? I'm turning 50 this year and I'm a mother of a younger child. So I think just a lot of the things that cross your mind, because you have like less time in front of you than you do behind you. So I just really sat with myself during that time. I'm like, what is going on with me? Yes. This, that. So I ended up finding an audiobook on menopause, and within the first chapter, I was like, oh my God, I've been in perimenopause probably for the last 4 years and didn't even know. My mom didn't talk to me about it. I know that I had other friends that didn't talk to me about it. So here I find this book going, this is what I've been dealing with for the last 4 years. And even my own gyno didn't even kind of bring anything up. Like, you're probably in perimenopause. Here are some of the things. And I love my gyno. I just don't think it just wasn't top of mind. Now I feel like I'm hearing more about it. Don't you? And maybe it's the algorithms and all the things, but I feel like more people are talking about, because celebrities are turning, the ones that we grew up with, they're all turning 50. So now we're hearing more about it.
Yeah. I had never even heard the term perimenopause. I had no concept of what it was. Like you, my mom never talked about it, and people weren't talking about it. Realized now I had been experiencing symptoms for years and didn't know, because I was looking for the things that my friends were complaining about. And, I was a little smug because my friends were saying, oh gosh, sleep is terrible. How's your sleep? I'm like, oh, my sleep's good. Oh, the hot flashes. I'm like, are you having hot flashes? No. And then they started saying things to me as if I were younger, which I wasn't, like they're cursing me like Hilda. They're like, oh, just wait. You're not going to be sleeping so well soon. And, oh, just wait. You're not going to be able to wear pullover sweatshirts. And I was very focused on those specific symptoms. So I missed a whole host of indicators that I had been in perimenopause, and the doctor didn't talk about it. And I had been seeing doctors who specialize in women's afflictions, because I'd had a fibroid surgery when I was 45, and my recovery wasn't great. There were things that they said, oh, I don't know why this is happening. Like, why are you still having really heavy periods? We don't know. Why this? Why that? To be examined so closely by people who are professionals taking care of women of a certain age and have not one single doctor, nurse, anybody even utter the words, that is an indicator that there's a problem. There's a problem with information. But you're right. Now that Naomi Watts has started something.
Yeah.
They're all talking about it.
Yes, they're all talking, because we're seeing them. We're like, okay, things are changing. For me, it was all, you feel like you want to lose your mind. The little thing sets you off. The piddly little, like all the things that I think said the mental piece of it. And then the emotional piece. I'm already pretty emotional. So I think there was a little bit of that, but there is something as you're going through these different hormonal things. So I would say around 46 is when I started to feel some of those things that I can go, okay, this was the beginning, even though my periods were still regular and very heavy, mind you. And some of those things, like you were talking about fibroids, I had polyps, a little different, but because of the heavy bleeding and all of that. And a lot of this is hormonal and a lot of this is normal. And we don't talk about that enough, the mental health piece of it. And back in the old days, they would just, lock them up. Oh, she's losing her mind. She's delusional. She's hysterical. Let's go, lock her up into an insane asylum, when really they're just going through a change in life. Now that I understand it, that book just opened my eyes. I can deal with it better. Like I can go, okay, this is just, I need to let this pass. And you find ways to cope, whether that's go take a walk, breathing exercises, meditation, whatever floats your boat, whatever to bring you back and center you into the moment, and knowing that this is temporary, instead of medicating you too, unless you need it.
Yeah. I'm going to see if, can we pin it or something? Hello, listener. I'm popping in to explain. Deanna was wearing earbuds with a microphone that was rubbing up against her, and it had been driving me a little bit crazy. I had her take off her jewelry, and if you watch the video, you'll see my face so distracted by the noise. Maybe that's a symptom. Not being able to control my face is definitely a symptom. The agitation part of it, I don't know if that was a symptom, or if it's just because I'm so committed to sound quality that I had to interrupt again. You're saying all these great things, and then that would drive me crazy. Listen, no, it goes every time it hits. And so then I feel like I don't want to edit out great stuff you're saying. But when you're animated,
I should just not be animated.
I like you animated. Okay. I think it's the hair hitting it, because it's not the shirt, but I'll let you know.
So the hair
is there a way to pin it? Okay.
Is that good? I just don't want to be looking like I'm naked.
I know.
Either. There we go. Yeah. It's like trying too hard. Is that better?
Now it's right on the shirt. Yeah, it's the shirt. You're right.
It is the shirt. Okay.
You could look like you're naked. I mean, a little sex appeal.
Let me see.
Right. Yes. I want you to look good. And I also don't want it making that noise.
Let me see if I can put it underneath something and then just be cognizant. Is this better?
Yeah. Is what it do? Is it like pulled away from your face and I can't tell? Amazing. So here's how she solved it. She grabbed a weighted tape dispenser and used it to anchor the earbud cord away from her body. I mean,
again, we're learning things.
Innovative
tape.
Middle-aged women. We will find a solution. I will look
We've lived some decades. We've lived some decades.
Scrappy problem solving. When you were talking about being on edge and the mood stuff, because of my single status, I haven't had a ton of continuity since my son went away to college. So do I have that? I would have probably attributed how angry I was or irritated with whomever I was around or whatever job I had. So I would have said, oh, I hate this job. These people at my job make me crazy, right? Instead of recognizing like, why am I feeling differently? Or this man I'm dating, when if he'd been the same man for a decade, I might have said, gosh, I didn't used to hate that about him. But instead, here I am thinking if I had the moods, it was all external. And so wouldn't have recognized it like you recognized, why am I having these feelings? Or you read the book and said, oh, that's why I was having these feelings.
Well, right. And I think as women, because God forbid we have emotions and we talk about it or have like, oh my gosh, she's so emotional. Okay, I'm sorry you hide your feelings. I'm sorry, to those people that judge other people that are different. Like we all express differently. Some people are a little more shielded and they don't show everything, which is great. I try to be a little more like that. You don't need to see me crying over something so lame in my kitchen that I couldn't put into the drawer. And I'm just like, you want to lose it. Just those moments too, because I've tested with all my hormones. And at this point, I'm not deficient or lacking. And I know that's a whole other controversial thing. Like if you just do a little more of this and a little more of that, I'm trying to not do any of that unless I have to. And I will. I'm not opposed to medication. I just want to try and do this naturally. Because I just feel like if I can get through this, because when you understand that this is a part of your life, up to 10 years of this. When I heard that, I was like, are you kidding me? But I feel like when I had that information and as I started doing more research, and when I talked to my husband about it, and I said, I just want you to understand that this is very normal. I even I do this often. I don't know if you do this with friends or anybody else, but I'll screenshot something of like a podcast or an audiobook and I play it back for him. I'm like, you need to hear this.
Oh, no.
From a professional. Like, this is what she's saying. I just want you to understand. I hope you can handle me for the next I don't even know how long this is going to last. Just so he's aware. But I think when you're all aware, nobody's like in confusion about it. I mean, there'll be moments where he's like, dude, do you need to go take a break or do you need to go somewhere? He's done that a couple of times and I appreciate that because that brings me to the moment.
I don't have that experience going through this without an ever-present partner.
But even a friend, I still do that. I'm like, oh my gosh, I remember this thing, or I will record it and send it to them.
I mean, I share information. I mean, my whole podcast is, instead I started a podcast.
Okay, yeah.
Really?
Okay, yes.
I don't have to brief people individually. They can just tune in. They can tune in and learn all about it. When you said 10 years, and I thought some of this mood stuff isn't dissimilar to PMS, that able to fly off the handle at a moment's notice, that the similarities with the hormones. I do actually take HRT. Okay. I'm taking a hormone replacement.
Yes.
And my perspective is a little bit different. And I may have made different choices if I had read that book, which we'll put in the show notes for people. But if I'd read the same book you did at the same point, I might have a totally different journey. But what I experienced was a big surprise. Like I thought, I was like, not recognizing I had any symptoms at all. And then the canary in the coal mine was my clitoris, right? I thought that clitoral atrophy thing that freaked me out. And when I went on the clitoral atrophy research deep dive, make myself crazy, scare all my friends, like it's going to fall off, use it or lose it. That whole thing. More sex was part of the prescription, masturbation, some medical devices like medical vibrator suction things, all for circulation. But across the board, they said testosterone supplementation. And so I got a medical device. I was masturbating, I was having sex, I was doing all those things, but I fixated on the testosterone. I didn't want to do anything weird over the counter. I wanted to see a professional.
Sure.
So I went on the hunt for a professional who specializes in menopause and went there and asked for it. And she said, your testosterone levels are fine. She's like, I keep mine higher. A lot of people, I keep them higher. Women find they feel better with it. Their moods are more stable. They find that they have a better time managing their weight and muscle tone, and can help with sensitivity, and it can even help with libido. But I got on testosterone. I think if I'd had a different entry symptom, I wouldn't be on that path, because once I took the testosterone, and this might be a cautionary tale, I took the testosterone. All my hormone levels were high and normal. I started taking the testosterone. Very soon after, I started having period changes that I thought were related. And she said, no, it wouldn't do that. And then my estrogen and my progesterone plummeted, and I started having hot flashes. So I thought, oh my gosh, that's from the testosterone. Well, in reality, what I didn't know is our hormones are fluctuating all the time. It's just a snapshot. So that first blood test that said I had the hormones of a 30-year-old, that was just that one day.
Right.
So I was very smug about that too, telling all my friends, well, I've got the hormones of a 30-year-old. I could be the surrogate for my own son as wife. Like, right. I'm 50 years old, and I think I was exactly 51 when I had the testing. Oh yeah, I don't know. And really, it's like blood sugar. It's just one moment in time. So I'm on the side, better living through pharmaceuticals. I am supplementing with hormones because I want to navigate this and take the edge off all of those symptoms. And then also, because now I'm on that pro side, this is almost like politics. Now on the pro side, I am in an echo chamber and I'm self-selecting information that supports that. Now I'm on the side is thinking, this is going to help me with bone loss. This is going to help me with my heart health. In the olden days, we only lived, maybe if we're really old, we lived to 80. But now we might have as much life post-menopausal as we had prior. And I want the protections that this estrogen's provided my whole life. And so I'm like deeply for my own self, not for other people, deeply entrenched in, I want to supplement and maintain and not have the worst of the symptoms. I don't want to have to grin and bear it or go through it. Knowing why it's happening is not enough for me. But my primary symptoms are different than yours. Like it wasn't, if it were just mood, would I be able to do it? If it weren't my poor vagina, if I'd been married and having sex, like all married people having regular sex, like 3-4 times a week, right? Good, satisfying 3 to 4 times a week, 50-year-old sex. Isn't that what people are having?
Oh my, okay. Let me hold on. Let me have some more coffee. I'm like,
that's my fantasy world, right?
Yeah. I'm like, I think it just depends on the season. And yeah. So everybody, But yeah, if you were having it regularly,
then this wouldn't have been the symptom for me. And I might have not even gone down that path.
Well, right? I'm not opposed to it too, because I feel like whether that was 4 years ago or whatever it is, I'm still getting my periodic period. Periodically, I'm getting something. I'm still kind of in the early stages, and that might be in my future. So right now I'm just kind of having these kind of symptoms, and that I know like what to expect, that I can attribute it to that. And sometimes I think it's just mood and just my personality and whatever, of course. And I'm not putting it all on the perimenopause, but I do feel like a lot is attributed to that. So I think a lot of it for me, and this doesn't work for everybody, it really is checking in with the mental health. I really try to do meditation. I really try to do a lot of that mind exercise, whatever that is, and feeding it with good information as much as I can, positive things. So I really try to do that. I journal, those types of things to really help me out. But everybody's different. Some people it's exercise, some people talking to a friend or talking to somebody, a professional. So I think it just depends.
Or margaritas.
But I'll tell you, that has been a difference for me, not drinking. I don't drink that often.
And why did I have you on this podcast?
I know, girl. Well, listen, I had plenty of fun back in my day. Plenty of fun. I have lived. I have done all those things. But this is part of perimenopause. Is some people, and it's not a huge percentage, but it's still a good chunk. I'm not going to say it because I can't give the exact number. But where your metabolism, especially when you're going through this, since you're going through all these hormonal things, you do not metabolize alcohol the same. So for me, the symptoms, and this went on even prior to 4 years ago, it was in my 40s. I would just drink one drink and I go, oh, I can't even hear what she's saying to me, my friend or whatever. And I almost felt like I was kind of drugged up or a little high, and not in a good way. And I said, this is weird. And I could have 1 or 5 drinks. It didn't matter. It would hit me hard. And then the depressing part of it came about. And I've never really had that before. And I know that can happen, but I would almost feel like not the next day, but a couple days later, I just feel a little down. So that was another thing too, because my body just isn't metabolizing it. So now I've kind of figured out what I can have here and there. I didn't have alcohol for almost a year pre-pandemic. I was like a month away from a year. I did it for me. Nothing happened. There was not like a situation. That's another thing. You get into that. That's a whole other conversation. God forbid you don't drink. The things you don't get invited to, the people that judge you. Why? Well, what happened? What did you do? Did you have a problem with it? I'm like, no, oh yeah. And then your social calendar changes too. It would have been a year, but then the pandemic happened. So I had my glass of wine.
So that year that you weren't drinking, people weren't inviting you to stuff?
It was weird. I'll tell you. It was weird. I'm like, I could be your DD. Yo, invite me. I'm fun. I do not need alcohol to have fun, or drugs or anything like that to have fun,
That's how we met. We met sober in the middle of the day. Remember?
I can't believe that. Just turn around. You guys cutting in front of me?
Did I say it or did you say it?
You said it because it was I was with my friend and she just like walked up right in front of you guys. And then I just hear because I was just following her, totally oblivious to like a line of any sort. And you guys were so sweet. And you're like, no, we're just messing with you. Have fun. Yeah, who cares? Anyway. And
I don't
how many years ago? That's like 5 years ago, 6 years, 5 years ago?
5 years ago. I don't have any part of me that really cared if you cut, which is why I said it and why it was funny. Because if it wasn't like passive aggressive, because if I did care, I'd say, excuse me, the line starts back there. But instead it was just
you're
funny
direct. Isn't that interesting?
Right. I am very direct.
Yeah, same.
But it made me laugh because some people are afraid to joke like that because people might overreact. But you turned around, it was the perfect match. And then friends for life.
I know. Because I'm the same. I'm very, very the same. Like, I'm very direct. I think alpha females find each other. I'm like a whole thing about that. Like, we can have a whole podcast on that.
On alpha females?
On alpha females, yes. They're given a bad rap sometimes, I
want to talk about alcohol for a second and the processing because, of course, I've had 2 periods in my life where I drank more than I would normally. One, I was living with someone. I was not happy. And it was a built-in bartender. Mm-hmm. On any given Tuesday, he could say, hey, you want a margarita? And I'd say, yeah. Or, hey, should I get some wine from downstairs? And I'd say, yeah, because it was a built-in pusher. And he drank every day.
Yes.
And so.
Oh, yeah. When you develop those habits.
Maybe he was drinking every day because he also was unhappy. Who knows what was going on with us? But I left that relationship and didn't drink. I just stopped drinking. When I lived alone, I didn't drink. At first I did. I would open a bottle of wine out of habit. I'm like, what am I doing? So then I stopped. And then I, had what would be considered normal social drinking.
Right.
But I'm still like a 1 or 2 drink girl. I get more than 2 drinks and it's not even fun for me. But then in the pandemic, it was those Zoom happy hours.
I know.
Which I turned into making cocktails for myself at my house because Zoom happy hours happened. I had more happy hours in quarantine than I had in my whole life because I was too busy as a mom to go to happy hour and too tired as an older person. But when I could have happy hour at exactly 5:01 p.m. because we all shut down our Zoom.
And you just go to your bedroom or your living room or your kitchen. You're not leaving the house and you think we don't know what this pandemic is going to bring. Do you know, I think that was just the mentality. We're like, F it.
Yeah.
Let's go for it.
Plus, they kept the liquor stores open as essential services. I mean, we were all set up for this. And all my wineries were offering, because they were, their tasting rooms were closed. They were all offering special deals and special shipping and at-home wine tastings. The wine store near me had this thing where it would be 6 different wines, little 1 ounce pours they made. It was genius, right? And I would go buy them and then they started delivering them. And And
they're just trying to keep us liquored up. They're like,
we don't want that revolution because we said right. 2 weeks at home to flatten the curve. And then look at these people, they're stuck at home. So I remember I started seeing someone, I had a pandemic boyfriend, and, we would get on the phone with each other because it was long distance and drink on the phone for hours. And as things started to open back up, I realized how much I'd been drinking and how I didn't feel good about it. But one of the things I know, so I stopped, right? So those are 2 periods where I was definitely like, what's happening? I can see where I could end up having a problem, or what felt like a problem to me.
Mm-hmm.
But so then I stopped drinking. I started like, and I was going to lose weight in the quarantine, and I was working out and I was eating great and everything was going awesome. But if I met up with my friends and we went to dinner and I had a couple drinks, I would go home and I would have fitful sleep. Mm-hmm. And I would have, that was my first night sweats, but they weren't full night sweats where I would just be hot in the night. Mm-hmm. And I think it's what you were saying about my body just wasn't processing it, but I didn't notice before because we were all fitful because we were going to die.
Right.
Right. And now that I was healthy again and doing other things, the occasional happy hour, the occasional dinner with wine was obvious because it was so occasional. It was obvious the impact it had on my body.
It's interesting. It really is, because that was the same thing, because my husband and I, we just don't drink at home. We just maybe went early on and that kind of thing. Like I said, I had plenty of fun in my time back in the day. And where if I think about, like, you're telling me your story about, I'm like, oh, is that what you thought? I'm like, I think it was a good party for, I don't even know how many years, in my 20s and 30s, when I was single and living in LA and doing all the things. And I was in the bar and restaurant industry as well, because you work 5 jobs in LA. And so I was around it all the time. So I probably didn't even realize I may have had an issue because I was in it. But I could always just not drink though either. It's like, that was my thing. I could either drink, not drink, whatever. It didn't matter. But I feel like at this age, especially when you're only socially drinking, like maybe here and there, maybe once, twice, 3 times a month, that's when I saw the big difference. Like, I mean, I could tell. And again, it's probably because I wasn't drinking as well. So there's like that a little bit of a built up tolerance, but my body just was like rejecting it. Now I've just kind of figured out, if I just keep it pretty pure, don't really mix any kind of sugars in it, or if I have a glass of wine here and there, and I usually drink, this sounds obnoxious, but like international, anything outside of the US, because they just have different things in their soil and how things are done. And there's that extra sulfites and all that stuff. So that's a whole other conversation. But, and you know what? Having a glass or 2, not the whole bottle. I mean, that's going to mess up anybody. So, to feel horrible. But there is something about, like you were saying, metabolizing. So
those are 2 symptoms we have with you now. We have the mood and we have the alcohol change.
Mm-hmm.
And what other symptoms are you experiencing? Because I'm cataloging these now because no one told me, like no one ever told me that.
So I know, so I'm half Asian. So I know I've got some of the genetics that play into it. And so, I've had some people like, I can't believe you're 52. And I'm like, I've always been immature or whatever you want to call it. I think it's attitude. I'm like, I don't feel ever an age, really. I mean, I'm starting to feel certain things and I'm starting to see different things. So I'm starting to notice just the differences in my skin, like how the skin hangs. That's been a big thing right here. And then the one eye that's drooperier than the other.
This is our personal stories episode. I'm going to save it for your professional one.
Are you noticing?
Listener, I had not been noticing, but I was obsessed. Once she'd mentioned this phenomenon to me, I couldn't stop thinking about it, which you already know if you listened to the clitoral atrophy episode, because I really pressed her to get the scoop on it. When I bring Deanna back again, we will do a deep dive on skincare, aging, face asymmetry, all of those things, because that whole one side of your face falling thing is definitely happening to me, even if I have not noticed it on famous women our age. Thank you for listening. Until next time, take care of yourself and take care of your vagina. If you love this irreverent podcast, please recommend it to a friend you think will enjoy it so that we know to keep delivering this very specific style of midlife information and stories for you. And one of the surprises of the show has been how great it is to hear from you. Remember to find me the next time you're on Instagram to let me know what you think. Look me up at My Aloof Vagina.